Well, hello there, you beautiful, beautiful, amazing, wonderful people. It's Tuesday. No, it's not. It's Monday. It's Monday. It's still Monday. This is video 2 of actually 3 because I'm going live later. We're going to have an open discussion. Everybody welcome. We can talk about the case. I'm going to be in comments and we're going to have a discussion about the Idaho 4 case, where we are, where we think it's going to go, why we think it's going to go a certain way, whether that's right, whether that's wrong, and, you know, air all our laundry. That's what we're going to be doing later. So if you want to join me, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. But in this video, this is going to be a bit of a room splitter, and I can hear it now.
Oh my God, he's attacking him again. He's attacking him. Shut up. You shouldn't be doing this. What you think you're doing?
Look, it is what it is. I've got to bring it up. I've got to bring it up because I saw something. It was interesting. And I thought to myself, do you know what? Is this right? And if this happens, how's it going to impact this family? So look, what am I talking about? I'm talking about this. Some of you will have seen this already, but it was filed on the 24th of February. Subject document motion to redact or seal newly filed record. And it says Exhibit S1 to state's motion in limine re immediate family members in the courtroom. Immediate families in the courtroom. Now, what I will say is, if the families haven't figured it out yet, and they're fucking ignorant, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. You know, they have gone through a tragic, tragic loss, a loss that I would not wish upon anybody. But what they've got to understand is the state doesn't give a monkey's fuck about the families. Don't care. This is about protecting their reputation. This is about making sure that they bring this to a close. We saw that. This all sort of started probably right at the very beginning with how long it took law enforcement themselves to contact the family members with respect of what had happened at 1122 King Road. Not only did we have the delay in contacting 911 from the people in the house itself, which was approximately 7 to 8 hours at the very least, potentially longer, but we also have a delay with the families being contacted after law enforcement knew this atrocity had happened. And these delays are just not right, they're not proper. But look, they happened. What do we know? We can only have an opinion on it. We can only speculate as to why certain delays happened. But certainly that 8 to whatever hour, 7 to whatever hour delay in the contacting of law enforcement, originally, that is not sitting right. It doesn't sit right. There's no way it can be explained easily. And I do feel that had the surviving roommates have not been 2 young girls, that may have gone a lot differently. But again, I'm just speculating. This is my opinion and I'm entitled to it. But look, that would seemingly suggest that they want to stop the immediate family members from being in this trial. Now, how do you feel about it? Let me know down below. Do you feel that the family members should be allowed, or do you feel that certain family members have behaved and acted in a way that's meant that that shouldn't happen? And are they trying to, will they try and make it look like, look, we want Brian Kohberger to have a fair trial? Because the Goncalves family, for instance, they have gone around, like one of the latest comments that they uploaded onto social media was that they're not going to take their foot off the gas. And I think to myself, what do you actually mean when you say you're not going to take your foot off the gas? I think it means that in the hunt for what they desire, which is the execution of Brian Kohberger, they are going to keep pushing forward and trying to affect that. They're going to try and do things that are more likely to get people on board with their mentality. Now, this is just my opinion because that's how it looks. It looks like they have a campaign going to turn everybody that they can against the accused person. And I've said this multiple times. I said it in the video earlier. Steve Goncalves originally was kind of someone who he'd gone through a huge loss. He was advocating for his daughter, but on the side of that, he was also erring at the side of caution. Look, this person may have been the person who did it. There's obviously evidence that may support it, but ultimately we don't know, and he deserves to go through the process and for that guilt to be determined via the method that the Constitution states should be used, and it should be done properly. And then at the end of it, we get an outcome and we the punishment is there. But something happened. And that changed. And all of a sudden, Steve Goncalves turned into somebody who was an absolute advocate for the execution of Brian Koberger. We know that Christy has always been in that camp. And look, she's a mum. She's lost a child. Kind of on one hand, you can understand why. She's obviously very, very trusting in what she's being told, what's been said. And maybe she's seeing through really, really upsetting her eyes. Again, this ain't a hate track. This ain't a hate track on the Goncalves family. I do feel that, a lot of what they've done has been sort of fueled by the tragedy that has happened, but there are certain actions that cannot be forgiven. And whatever the outcome of this crime is, it won't make their behaviour right. Even if Brian Koberger goes through this trial and it is proven beyond a reasonable doubt that he did it, has their behaviour been right? Or are people just happy to turn around and say, well, look, they've gone through this loss and we have to give them a pass. We have to give them a pass. The downside is the people who are around them and support them and have also been on this same journey. And I showed some of the comments in a video that I uploaded yesterday. Throughout that video, I was uploading comments that were directed at Brian Koberger and the defence team. And it's very, very clear what the major feeling is in the community, and that is that people want him dead. People want Brian Koberger dead, and the downside is they want him dead while simultaneously there not really being any solid evidence that he did this crime. There is only circumstantial evidence, and there is some massive questions overhanging the one linchpin of the case, and that is the DNA. But look, what I will say as well is the Steve Goncalves and Christy, they have gone to GoFundMe, and I'm not going to criticise them for the GoFundMe. If people want to support them, they can support them, and I've myself utilised GoFundMe to help fund, again, my going to this. But what I will say is if something happens and I can't go, and every single penny that GoFundMe acquired, then that will be going back to everybody who was involved in giving me that money. And if people don't want the money back, then the money will be going to either a charitable cause or it will go to, I don't know, Brian Koberger and help fund biscuits or a vegan dish. It will go to his money for his incarceration. Who knows? But what I'm saying is it will go. I'm not going to keep it. So I asked the question, if the Goncalves are banned from going to this trial, if they are stopped from going, then will they be refunding every single penny? Because I imagine that all of that money is still there, or the majority of it, because it's for the trial. So in theory, it should be somewhere being retained for the trial. So in the event that doesn't go ahead, it will be readily available to be returned. Again, I'm just asking the question. I mean no hate by it. I'm just saying that money was acquired for a reason. If that reason doesn't go forward, then surely that then gets returned. But what do you feel? Do you feel that the Goncalves family should be allowed in the courtroom, or do you feel they shouldn't? Do you feel that the behaviour that they've shown towards an accused person, not a yet convicted person, especially statements around the execution of Brian Koberger? I think Steve Goncalves most recently spoke to Ashley Butfield and had said that not only did he support the acquiring of the shooting of death row people in Idaho, that he was actively helping to make sure that it happened. He was getting involved and speaking to people and saying, look, this needs to go ahead. So he's really, really balls deep in getting the firing squad set up by his own omission. But look, it is what it is. I personally feel that if people can't behave right and they can't behave properly, and they're not doing things that support the constitutional rights of an individual, then they shouldn't be allowed in the courtroom. I don't think they should. I think if you can behave properly and you can show that you are willing and open to allow this person the rights that they're entitled to, then yes, of course, you should be allowed in there. And at the end of the day, this is state versus Koberger. But what this family have to understand, and what all of these families have to understand, again, is what we started this video off by saying, and that is that the state doesn't care about the families. They don't care. The knocking down of the house. The knocking down of the house and burying it against the family's wishes. And that was the University of Idaho. Look, they just don't care. This ain't about obtaining justice. This is about obtaining a result, obtaining closure in the fastest and swiftest way possible. And they have proven, seemingly proven, especially around the IGG information, that they're willing to do whatever it takes to bring this to a close as quickly as possible. They have constantly said that they're willing to go whenever, straight away, right away. Let me know what you think down below, and I will catch you all later tonight live. Mwah.